Hello and welcome to my channel. So today I want to start off with just saying I love you. I felt like it's time to make a video for one. It's almost Thanksgiving and my barber kept asking me, well, when's your next video? When's your next video? And so I had just a thought about how I've noticed that it is so difficult for people to say I love you. When they're hearing it from a person, where they're just like saying I love you too, or I love you. I feel like some people aren't able to trust other people with their feelings. And I want to say this, that love can be different for every being on the planet. It can mean something different. So I think that some people, when they hear I love you, they may look at the other person as if, well, why are you saying I love you to me and you don't even know me? Or if that person has been hurt by the person that's saying I love you to them, that may be difficult for them to also just respond with I love you, because if they don't feel that internally, they're not going to be able to say that, right? I love you, for me, when I say it, I also have the awareness of what it means to be loved. For me, when I think about my spiritual journey, I think about hearing the word I love you and have heard it from people who may have hurt me in some type of way, and not responding to the hurt, but responding to what is being said, right? And when you become aware of yourself and who you truly are, there's a brightness about being able to say I love you in the face of anything. In the face of, some people may say, in the face of adversity, right? Or the face of something that made you feel a certain way where you're not able to respond that way instantly. And it also may be a safe haven for some people to feel like they shouldn't say I love you to someone, right? And I just remember just recently seeing Summer Walker's video with Terrell, who, does a song, kind of like song association, kind of like that. But he's his own like marketing genius or whatever. But he said I love you, and her response to him saying I love you was something like, I appreciate that, and I appreciate that, or thank you. And I think that I've noticed spiritual beings, when they hear I love you, they may not respond with I love you too, because it has to be true for them. And they also just may be aware of who they truly are. And when you're aware of who you truly are, saying I love you to someone, I don't want to use what I'm thinking about, because I just feel like it's one of those things where when you know, you know. When you know who you truly are, you know. So with that being said, I guess let's kind of dive in who you truly are. Well, you are love. You are loved. When I experienced awakening, one of the first things that I noticed was some of the spiritual teachers who shine light within my awareness maybe didn't say I love you back. And it brought up how, for me in my experience, I had a lot of people pleasing, just, I wouldn't say ideas, but I had a lot of people pleasing ways. And as I'm healing, because we're continuously healing those things, and I think that it's really not even just healing it, it's just becoming aware of who you are, and adjusting to, not even adjusting, but becoming who you want to be. Who you truly are is the awareness. You know how people say, I told myself I shouldn't have did this, or I told myself I should have cooked this first, or I told myself, listen to what is being said. I told myself. You told who? I told myself, or I said to myself, like, when I was saying you are your awareness, right? Within us is energy. Within us is like, and there's a picture of Lois, from the Family Guy, right? Lois from the Family Guy, and I think, but I just know she's in it for sure, right? And she's looking at a picture frame of a picture. Oh, it's her and Peter Griffin. Her and Peter Griffin are sitting on a chair in the picture frame looking at a TV with them on the couch. And so if that doesn't make sense to you, right? If you are watching TV, just say for example, if you're watching TV. Alright, so here, I'm at work now, but I was watching my video and I wanted to clarify something in the video. We're at the part where we're saying Lois is looking at the picture frame of her and Peter Griffin watching TV where Lois Griffin, fell down the stairs, right? So think about if you were watching TV. Your awareness is experiencing you, the physical body, or the awareness, which is, your true self, is experiencing you watching TV, which is also, and then if you just say, for example, if you were on TV, then you would be watching, your awareness would be watching you experiencing yourself on TV. Does that make sense? Does that kind of clear it up for you? Like your true self is looking at the picture frame of you experiencing watching TV of yourself, which is the experience. Does that make sense? It's kind of difficult to understand, but if you understand, kudos to you. What are you actually, like, what is actually watching the TV? And that may not even really make sense, because as I'm saying it, I'm just like, does that make sense? Right? But it makes sense for some and it may not make sense for everyone. But love is our source of power. And I felt like in a time now where it's about to be Thanksgiving and people say what they're thankful for, I just felt like it was a time to make this video about I love you. And how some people use it lightly, some people use it more than lightly. And I feel that some people they feel like they have an entitlement to themselves to not give that power away to just anyone. But I think that there's so much power in being open and being able to say I love you, because that person is saying I love you, and whether they have an intention to be true with what they're saying, I feel like they will face whatever judgment they are meant to face, whether they're truthful or non-truthful, because your thoughts, feelings, and emotions create your reality. So when people say I love you and they don't mean it, then they're facing some type of judgment within. And even when I'm hearing myself say that, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a powerful awareness to knowing what it means to be able to take what you dish out, I think that when people truly mean it, there's a feeling with it. And I feel like people don't want to go through what if this person, is saying that they love me and they don't mean it. They don't want to go through that cycle of thinking about it in their head, whether it's true or not. And I think that there's such a freedom in being able to say I love you. And sometimes if you're in a place of not being able to say it back, that's where you are. And I think that there's also power in having that awareness. There's power in all of that, right? I tend to say I love you, but also have the awareness of whether a person is being true with me or not. And that's what my power is, you know? When people say I love you and I know that they've said something maybe behind my back, it's not it's for me, it's not about throwing it back up into their face and saying, well, bitch, what you said about X, Y, and Z, you know? And I know that some people may stray away from using profanity and stuff like that, but that's me. And I feel like that may be me right now, but this person that I'm becoming, it could change. I could not want to use profanity in something, but I feel like there's freedom in just being able to be free. Allowing yourself to be free. Allowing yourself to, whether you told that person I love you and it was a mistake, allow it to be that. And it will be revealed to you, you know? I think that with the things that I've been through in the past, there were people that I was kind of wondering about, like, oh, do they really love me? Like, why would they do this? Or why would they not be here in this part? And and that just was a cycle. It was a cycle. I don't want to single out Summer Walker when I was talking about her saying that, like how she responded to hearing I love you, because it's not even just about her. It's about just noticing that other beings have also, on the camera. I just was looking at an interview with a significant artist, Sierra, and Kelly Rowland and another artist were on there, and she was just saying that I love you. And I think one of their opening lines, she was just saying that I love you, and I think for me, the people pleasing side, or not even just people pleasing, but just me being a lover, I wanted to just instantly be like, I love you too, And I think that having the awareness that your thoughts, feelings, and emotions create your reality. Well, if my thoughts, feelings, and emotions are created because of what I feel in the inside, and if a person is telling me they love me, then that's what I'm giving out from the inside, right? So I should be able to receive that, right? And I think that if it comes across as not true, then I'm going to dissect it. If I'm receiving that, why am I receiving it and feeling like it's not true? Then I have to do the searching for like what's going on in the inside, because if my thoughts, feelings, and emotions are creating my reality, then whatever I'm feeling in the inside is if it's being shown to me, if I'm receiving it, right? What is it going on in the inside that is making me feel like I'm being fake with myself, or making me feel like that version of I love you coming to me is not truthful? You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? But I also want to speak about how when you are in a receiving mode, right? And you have a purpose that you're serving, sometimes you receive things that may be a gift to you, and you're receiving it for a special purpose, right? Some experiences on the outside, or your 3D experience, may be experienced so that you can receive something within yourself to uncover something else. And I'm not talking about I love you when I'm talking about this, even though I do. I'm talking about how when you're gifted and you're receiving answers from the divine, there may be certain things that may come to you to uncover something else that you may need to experience so that it can just brighten your awareness to more things about you. Someone may, or I'll say this. Say, for example, right now, Mercury is in retrograde, right? Say if an ex comes into your life and says, I love you, but you know that they're not over the person that they may have left you for, the person that they're in a relationship with, and they're having issues, right? Say if they're having issues with their current partner and they're coming to you saying, I love you so much. And in that case, maybe you don't say I love you back because you know that they're running game. You may know that behind that I love you, they may do love you because they realize what they, what they're missing out on now. But I'm not just speaking like from personal experience, but I'm just creating a scenario, right? If they're telling you that they love you and they haven't left the partner that they're with, for one, they may be afraid to work on themselves. They may be telling it from a place of just realizing that you may have grown, but that I love you isn't coming from a place of where you want to receive it. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, when you receive I love you from certain people, you may realize that, oh, that person is telling me they love me, but at this on the same note, they aren't healing like I'm healing. I'm moving forward. I can say, I love you from a distance. I love you where you are. I love you so much that I may not answer that text that you sent me. I love you so much that I'm not going to allow my relationship with my new nigga to hurt you. I love you so much that I'm going to allow you to stay in that relationship and not give your ass any advice because I need you to learn your lesson through that relationship. And I feel like in those instances, you're healing because you're realizing, like, I don't need to give that person my power. And it's just like, I feel like love, like, again, like I said, love is different thing for different people. I may respond and I may say to somebody that I've been with, like, hey, look at what you're going through, look at your life. Do you really want to be treated like that? Is that what your expectation of love is? Is that what love looks like for you? And if it's not, you need to do the work to get out of that, It's also, love is like a self-empowering thing, because when you realize, well, maybe not self-empowering, but love is like one of those things where you realize you love yourself. Like when you realize you love yourself enough to say no to the bullshit. You love yourself to say no to things that just don't serve you anymore. And so I love you can be used in a way of just saying, hey, I do love you. And I'm at peace with where I am in my life, whether you're at peace with your life. But also, I love you is also being able to say, I forgive you for the past, and I'm going to help you through what you're going through in a loving way. I'm going to help you by saying, hey, is that what love looks like for you? Hey, if it ain't serving you, do what you got to do. I love you, girl. I love you, dude. I love you. Do what you got to do. That's what love is, But it may be totally different for someone else. I feel like love is also one of those things where it's difficult for some people to say because of maybe the trauma that they've been through in the past. And I feel like trauma is like just loosely used, because when you think about trauma and like people going to the hospital, when they be in the trauma place of the hospital or whatever, that be some real shit. And people just be saying, oh, they done been through trauma. Girl, no. I just feel like we're in a time of like, we desperately need people to be able to say, I love you. And it be okay with saying I love you. I think that people say I love you, they may feel like they said it to the wrong person, but it's also one of those things where your source of power, for me, what I believe is your source of power comes from love. Your source of power is love. You may always hear that love is the most powerful energy that there is. There's also enlightenment that's up there too. Enlightenment. But love, your heart center, if you trust your heart, you know how people say, my gut was telling me, or you know, something was just telling me. Something was telling me. What is that something? What is that something? Is it possible that that something is what? Your awareness, right? Your awareness. Lois looking at the picture of herself and Peter, watching TV of herself and Peter. Source consciousness. What is consciousness? And I ask people this: what is consciousness? Or when people sleep, right, and they read, or when people are, you know, unconscious, and then people give them CPR and they regain consciousness, or however they gain consciousness, they gain awareness that they are awake, right? So, with that being said, what is the awareness? Just listen to the word source. Source is like, you know how people say, oh, bitch, I'm about to go to the source. I'm about to go to the source of the issue, of the problem, and da 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 da. But listen to the word source consciousness. Conscious, when you're conscious, when you're aware, when you know, right? When they say they open their third eye, your third eye is open. When have you ever seen someone's true third eye, like on these vessels that we're in? Have you ever just seen someone's third eye? Maybe if you're clairvoyant, then you may see someone's third eye, you know, being open. But being aware is the realization that if a person is saying, oh, my third eye, someone may say, oh, my third eye is open and I can see auras, I can see vibes. Or people may say, I feel like, I used to use I feel a lot, right? And I heard a spiritual teacher say, if you say I feel, or I think, or it feels like. If you say I feel like, it feels like, you are, and may be very clairsentient. Or clairsentient may be one of your dominant gifts. If you say I'm clairvoyant, or if you say, in my dream last night, girl, I seen this, and then look at what's happening today. Look at what happened today. And they may be like, oh, I had a dream, like, or I just seen this. I swear I just seen this, girl. I was daydreaming. I just seen this. Like, it was like a little flash of like a video, girl. I seen it. It happened. Like, clairvoyant. Or when people say, I think that you should do this. Or I think this. Or I think, like, to me, I think that they did this because X, Y, and Z, right? Clear cognizance, clear thought, clairvoyant, clear sight, clear sentient, clear feeling. I feel. When people say, it smells like, you smell that? It smells like something that somebody cooked. I'm like, you smell that? Somebody got on some cologne or something like that. And that's clear scent. I think it may be called something else. But yeah, there are different gifts, but our heart has to be in alignment with those gifts. Our heart has to be in alignment with being able to feel like we are important enough to receive them. We're open enough to receive them. So that's why I feel like it's important to be able to say I love you. And I was talking about clairvoyance, but clairvoyance is being able to see those auras, or being able to see things for what they truly are. Clairvoyant can be just not only saying, oh, I can see auras and I can see what people are thinking, or I am aware of how there are certain experiences that happen for a reason, but there's also, it is also that. It's also that. That's like getting that fine tuning when you're able to notice that there are things happening for a reason, or when a person is going through something, they're going through it because of something that they haven't healed, or just realizing that there's an importance to a certain experience in one's own life. And so clairvoyance and awareness that all of these gifts have to be used, or all of these gifts are interconnected, or all used together to be able to gift the world, to be able to gift others. But it starts from your heart center. If your heart center is off balance in any type of way, if you're not able to love yourself, how can you love others? If you're not able to love others, how can you love yourself? Because other people in your life are showing you who you need to be. If they're hard on you, maybe you need to bring out that bad bitch again and be true to that bad bitch to be who you need to be. You know, when you give yourself the type of love that you need to say, all right, they playing, and I just need to be who I am. I need to strengthen those areas so I can be that person. But also being loving and kind and fruitful and giving is also a superpower. Being soft is also a superpower. But when you got to pull out that hard bitch, you got to pull out that hard bitch. You got to pull out that stuff and make them sit down. But yeah, I want to say it's okay to say I love you. Saying I love you is a gift. Some people in the world, they need that. And especially in the times we live in now, girl, food stamps got cut off. For some girl, food stamps got cut off from some people. We need to be able to say, I love you. Girl, I love you because, girl, I know you need them food stamps, girl. I know you need that $740 to feed your children. But also, is that I love you, and maybe you're just going to have to go harder because those are your kids. But it's also compassion for those people who don't have kids and, don't mind helping out too. Like, even though we could probably say, people bring up stuff like, oh, racism and LGBTQ plus and non-gender conforming ideas and all of these things like transgender topics and all of these other ideas. But what is most important is being able to be in alignment with the idea of how love can heal all of that, how we can be in alignment with realizing that humanity doesn't have to struggle. Humanity doesn't have to be in a place of where it is now. We can make a conscious decision to make better choices when it comes to all of the things that we may be facing, whether that's government, whether that's, I think that right now we're living in a time of people just viewing things differently. They tried to take things away for LGBTQ plus people with legalizing gay marriage, which that was something that was approved years ago, and it's just like, why touch that when that's important to humanity? Then with people who are having their food stamps taken. I remember this female that came into my job and said that she makes $10 over what is required for her $740 worth of food stamps. And because she makes $10 more than what is required, $740 that was helping her with her children is just taken. So we live in a time where we truly can be here with each other, helping each other, because there are a lot of wealthy families. And I feel like I remember a time of when I said, when I was wealthy or when I got millions and millions of dollars, that I would help those in need. There's also other topics that I feel like could be touched on too, just as far as like people who are discovering themselves now in a time where, I feel like people expect from the world, they expect the world that we live in to be perfect. And if you've ever created anything, right? Just think about this real quick. I'm a very big thinker. But if you've ever created something, whether that's food, whether that's something, physical or a dance or anything, you know that at first in the creative process, and this may not be true for everybody because some people are just creative geniuses and create things on the spot, but I feel like that's just the flow and ebb of everything, right? But if you've ever created something from the ground up, whether that's music, you know that at first there's like some things that you have to work through to make it exactly what you want it to be. Whether that's the melody, whether that's the pitch, whatever. So think about when God created this world, and there first was just dark. And then God said, let there be light. And whether you believe in that or not, it's just like, think about, how did we just get here? How are we just magically just here? Like, what is the world? What is these things? But anyway, I just want to say that, like, I think that people expect for things to be perfect. And we're slowly all trying to, in a way, like, even with the country, we're all trying to come together to find someone to lead us to like a salvation or a experience for everyone that is like congruent with all of our morals and beliefs. And you have to think about the billions of people that are on this planet and how difficult that would be to create something that is just like agreeable upon every being when there's light and dark in the world. There's light and there's dark. And we need that to create the balance. So the world is already perfect. It's just like finding the perfect in our experience. The perfect in that balance that we are also trying to find. Like that perfectness. That, what do they call it? That perfection and that bliss that we are all trying to find. Like, we know that people talk negatively with they talk negatively about the president that we have right now, but there are some people who feel very positive about the president that we have. But we also have to be able to find the perfection in that. We have to be able to find the perfection with living the life that we live. We know that stuff is expensive, girl. For Thanksgiving, girl, that shit was about almost $400. Now back in the day, that stuff may have been like one something. But baby, 400 something. No, 3 something. But you might as well say 4 something. Girl, expensive. A bitch need a drink. By the way, that is Sir Davis, Beyonce's alcohol. It's really good. But I just want to say, I love you. With every experience that you're going through or every experience that you're experiencing and whether things are very great for you. I love you. I feel like you'll get to that place of being able to say, I love you to someone. Cherish those people that are able to say, I love you, because they are very important. They may be showing something to you that you just may not be able to comprehend or to notice because you're trying to get someone else to say I love you. But those people that are able to say I love you, be able to say I love you back, or get to a place where you question yourself of, why am I not able to say I love you to this person? That's where your healing can start. So with that being said, I think I want to touch on some things about Mercury being in retrograde and what it's bringing up for people, what I've noticed. And I think that I can touch on that in my next video. So with that being said, I love you so much. Until we speak again, I love you.